Hi, Maima here from Go Ask Now Academy. I hope you all are doing good. Today we will study the chapter 9, which is light reflection and a refraction. This is very important chapter. Here we'll study how the light travels, and when it travels, what actually happens, reflection, refraction, the mediums and all. These all things deeply we'll study in this chapter. Okay, so we see the variety of the objects in the world around. However, we are unable to see anything in the dark room. On the lighting up the room, we see the things visible, right? What makes these things visible? During the day, the sunlight helps to see the object. An object reflects that falls, and the reflected light, when received by our eyes. This is when the light is there in the daytime. Also enables us to see, we see through the transparent medium of the light and the transmitted through it. There are a number of common wonderful phenomena associated with the light, such as image formation by the mirrors, twinkling of stars, or the beautiful colors of the rainbow, bending of light by the medium, and so on. So, a study of the properties of a light help us to explore them. So, by observing the common optical phenomena around us, we may conclude that the light seems to travel in the straight line, and the fact that all the small light of the cast, sharp, and this shadow opaque object point to this straight line path of the light. So, usually indicates the ray of light. Whatever the incident or the light, which is just the path of light in which the straight line is coming, this is ray of light. Also, in this chapter, we shall study the phenomena of the reflection and the refraction of light using the straight line propagation of light. And these basic concepts will help us to study in the some of the optical phenomena in the nature, and we shall try to understand in this chapter also the reflection of light by the spherical mirror, refraction of light of the application in the real situation. So deeply we'll study the reflection and the refraction, both the topics. So let's start with the reflection of light. So a highly polished surface, okay, such as like mirror, most of the lights falling on it. You are already familiar with the law of reflection, which we have already studied. So the law of reflections is, let's recall it, the angle of incidence is equal to the angle of reflection. It means I is equals to R. Also, second is the incident ray, normal ray, and the mirror all lie at the point of incidence, and reflected all lie in the same plane. One plane is there. Here only the reflected ray, the incident ray, and the normal all are lying in the same plane. This is according to the second law of reflection. So these are the laws. Now the laws, these laws of reflection are applicable to all types of reflecting surface, including spherical surfaces. And you also familiar with the formation of image by the plane mirror. What are the properties of the images? And also the image formed by the plane mirror is always virtual and erect. Also, the size of the image is equals to the is equal to that object. The image formed is as far behind the mirror as the object in front of it. Further, the image is laterally inverted, and how much would you image when the reflecting surface is curved? So you can explore this one. So how image formed, how it looks like, this is we have explained here. Okay, now one activity is also there. You can complete it. Like just take this large shining spoon and try to view your face in its curved surface. Do you get the image? Is that smaller or the larger? You will get to know. Also move the spoon slowly far away from your face and observe that the image, how does it changes. Reverse the spoon and repeat the activity, and how do the image looks like. Also compare the characteristics of the image of these properties by the two surfaces. So these are the properties, and with this observation things will be more clear. Now the curved surface of the shiny spoon could be considered as a curved mirror. Okay. And also the most of the common type of the curved mirror in the spherical mirror. The reflecting surface of such mirrors can be considered to form the surface of the sphere, and the such mirror whose reflecting surface are spherical are called a spherical mirrors. That depends on this reflecting surface, where it is having the reflecting surface spherical, then it was said to as a spherical mirror. Now we shall now study about the spherical mirrors in some details. What actually the spherical mirrors are. So here, the reflecting surface of the spherical mirror may be a curved inwards and the outwards like this. Okay. Also, whose reflecting surface is the curved inward, and that faces towards the center of the sphere is called a concave mirror. This is how the concave mirror looks like when it faces at the towards the center. Also, the spherical mirror whose reflecting surface is curved from the outward side like this, okay, is called a convex mirror. And the systematic representation of these mirror is shown in this figure. We can see is how the concave mirror looks like inward direction, and the outward direction it will be the convex mirror. And also you may know understand the surface of the spoon curved surface can be approximated to the concave mirror, and the surface of the spoon bulged outward can be approximated as a convex mirror. A spoon is the best example for the spherical mirror. The outward side and inward portion, and the outward portion concave mirror and a convex mirror we can consider. Now, before we move further on the spherical mirrors, we need to recognize and then understand the meaning of the few terms. These terms are commonly used in the discussion about the spherical mirrors. So, the center of the reflecting surface of the spherical mirror is a point called the pole. Firstly, the center of the reflecting surface of the spherical mirror, the center, okay, where the reflecting surface reflection is happening, that particular point is called as pole, and it lies on the surface of the mirror, and the pole is usually represented by the letter P. Now, the reflecting surface of the spherical mirror forms a part of the sphere, and this sphere has a center. The center point is called the center of curvature of the spherical mirror. It is represented by the letter C. Also, please note that the center C of the curvature is not a part of mirror. It lies outside the reflecting surface, and the center of the curvature of the concave mirror lies in front of it. However, it lies behind the mirror. In the case of the concave mirror, you may note that this the figure, whatever in the 9.2, A and B here. Okay, we'll deeply study it. The radius of the sphere of the reflecting surface spherical mirror, and the part is called the radius of curvature of the mirror, and it is represented by the letter R, capital R. Also, you may know that the distance PC is equals to the distance curvature, and imagine the straight line passing through the pole, center of curvature of a spherical mirror, and this line is called a principal axis. Also remember that the principal axis is normal to the mirror of the pole, and let us understand important the terms of the mirror through an also from this activity you will get to know what the principle of axis, radius of curvature and all. So now this is a diagram. Okay, I'm in under the mirror. Here this P is the point, C is the center of curvature, F is the focus of point, angle which has been made here is angle of reflection is I, and R is the angle of reflection. Now the paper at the first begin to be the one producing the smoke. Eventually it may can catch fire, and why does it want? So the light from the sun is converged at a point as a sharp bright spot by the mirror. In this fact, the spot of the light is image of the sun in this sheet of the paper. Now the point of the focus is in the concave mirror. That heat produced due to which the concentration of sunlight ignites the paper. The distance of this image would position at the mirror and give the approximate value of focal length of the mirror. Now let us try with this activity. Understand the observation with the help of the ray diagram. In the observation, this 9.2 A and B. Firstly, A closely are the number of rays parallel. Okay, you can see the number of rays are parallel to the principal axis. This is the principal axis, and the number of rays here are parallel, and also they are meeting and intersecting at the point of principal of axis of the mirror. The point is the principal focus of the concave mirror. And similarly, observe here in the 9.2 how the rays are parallel to the principal axis and reflected by the convex mirror, and the reflected ray appears from the point to the principal axis. And also this point is known as principal focus of the convex mirror, and the principal focus is represented by the letter F. This F is representing the principal focus, and the distance between the pole and the principal focus of the spherical mirror is called as focal length, and it is represented by the small f. Principal focus is capital F, and this focal length is small f. Now the reflection or the reflecting surface of the spherical mirror is by the large and is by end and large spherical. The surface then has a circular outline, and also the diameter of the reflecting surface of the spherical mirror is called aperture. The diameter of the reflecting surface in the spherical mirror is known as aperture. The distance m represents the distance between the m and n is representing the aperture. Also, we shall consider that in our discussion only the such of the spherical mirrors whose aperture is much smaller and radius of the curvature. So, is there any relation between the radius of curvature r? We have studied radius of curvature, focal length f of the spherical mirror. So, yes, for the spherical mirror of the small aperture, the radius of curvature of the to be equal to the twice of the focal length. It means r is equals to 2f. This is the relation. Also, this implies that the principle of the focus of a spherical mirror lies midway between the pole and the center of the curvature. Now, image formation for by the spherical mirrors. How image formed? We have studied the spherical mirrors, the convex and the concave mirrors, how the light passes and all. Now, we'll study the image formation by the spherical mirrors. So, you have studied about the image formation of by the plane mirrors. You know the nature, position, relative size, and the image formed by them. Now, how about the image formed by the spherical mirror, and how can we locate the image formed by the concave mirror for the different position of the object? Are these images are real and the virtual? Are they enlarged, liminized, or have a same size? So we'll have to explore it. With this activity, you will get to know more. Now I'm just starting with this only. Now you will see the activity of with the you will get the nature, position, size, and image formed by the concave mirror. Depends on the position of the object relation to the points of P, F, and C. Now the image formed by the real. Now for the some position of the object, it is found to be the virtual for the certain other position, and the image is either magnified, reduced, and has the same size depending on the position of the object. A summary of these observation is like, see, image formation and the position of image you will get to know. So when any position of the object is at infinity, so at that time the position of the image at the will be that focus, size will be highly diminished, point size, and the nature will be real and inverted. When any position of the object is just beyond the C, means beyond the center of curvature, then at that time where position image or the image will be formed between F and C, and the size of image will be diminished at that time, and the nature of the image will be real and inverted. At C, again when it is at C, then again it will form position of the image will be at C only, and it will be of same size, and the real and inverted. When it is position of the object between the C and F, then beyond C, and large and real and inverted only. Now, when it is at focus point, then principle of focus, then it will be found at infinity and image would not be formed. And when it will be between P and F, then behind with a mirror, and it will be enlarged, virtual, and erect as well. Now, a representation of images formed by the spherical mirror by using the ray diagrams. So, we can study the formation of images by the spherical mirror by drawing the ray diagram, considered as an extended object of the finite size placed in the front of a spherical mirror like this. Okay, and each small portion is an extended object acts like a point source. So an infinite number of rays originate from these point, and to construct the ray diagram in order to locate the image object, and arbitrarily a large number of the rays emanating it from the point and could be considered. Okay, here this is the incident ray and this is the reflected ray. Incident ray and this it get reflected from here. However, it is more convenient to consider only the two rays for the sake of clarity in the ray diagram. These rays are chosen to that it's easy how know their direction and the after the reflection by the sun mirror. So the intersection at the least two reflected ray give the position of the image of the point object, and any two of the following rays can be considered as a locating this image. Firstly, according to the first, a ray parallel to the principal axis, okay, you can see, and will pass through the principal focus in the case of concave mirror, and or appear to the diverge in the principal focus in the case of convex mirror. So, this is the illustration. Now, for the second diagram here, the ray passing through the principal focus concave mirror ray which is direct towards the principal focus of a convex mirror after the reflection will emerge parallel to the principal axis, and this is illustrated like this in the point A and B, how it will go like when it is parallel to the principal axis or not. Now the third one, the diagram is when the ray is passing through the center of curvature. See, it is passing through the center of curvature. The concave mirror or direction of the center. Now curvature convex mirror after reflection is reflected back along with the same path, and this illustrated in the light ray come back to along the same path, and because of the incident ray fall on the mirror normal to the reflecting surface. Now on the ray incident obliquely and the principal axis towards the P. Okay, here see. pole of the mirror on the concave mirror or a convex mirror is reflected obliquely, and the incident and the reflected rays of laws of the reflection point the incidence P, making the equal angles for the both principal axis. So this is when it is lying just at the principal axis. So these are the ray diagram from the different conditions. Now remember that all the above cases, the laws of reflection are followed at this point of incidence, and the incident ray is reflected in such way that angle of reflection is equals to angle of incidence as according to the law we know. Now image formation by the concave mirror. Figure this 9.7 actually what illustrate the ray diagram for the formation of the image by the concave mirror or the various position of the objects. Okay, when it is at infinity, at that time what will happen? The incident ray which is parallel to the axis, it is getting reflected from here, passing through the focal point F. Then it will here see it will get inverted and just making another image A and B. Then it will be just opposite to and B dash and A dash like this. So there are the ray diagram for the image formation of the concave mirror. Now uses of concave mirror. So deeply we have studied how it happens when it is passing through the focal point, when it is passing through the principal axis and all. Image A and B when it is passing through the center of curvature C. So what happened and how the image has been formed. This has been explained here with the help of ray diagrams. Now let's move ahead with the uses of a concave mirror. So concave mirror are commonly used in the torches and searchlight vehicles headlights to get a powerful parallel beam of light. They are often used as a saving mirrors and to see the larger image of the face. The dentist use concave mirror to see the large teeth of the patient. A large concave mirror are used to concentrate sunlight and produce the solar furnaces. Now V is the image formation by the convex mirror. We started the image formation of the concave mirror. Now we shall study the formation of image by the convex mirror. How it's formed. So here firstly we consider the position of an object for studying the image formed by the convex mirror. So first when the object is at infinity. Okay. So the second position when the two position of the objects are studying in the image for by the convex mirror. Firstly, when the object is at infinity, here according to this, when the object is at infinity, the distance from the mirror, the ray diagram of the formation image by the convex mirror, position of the object is shown in the figure 90 here. See, when object is at infinity, at B respectively. So the result summarized like firstly, when it is at infinity, the position of the image will be at the focus point F and behind the mirror actually, and size will be high dimensionized and the points position and erect between infinity point P of the mirror. Okay, it's in the between infinity and the point P. Then it will be just behind PF and behind the mirror P and F. Also, it will be demonized, partial and erect. So these are the two conditions when it is at infinity, and another between the infinity and the pole of the mirror. Now you have far studied the image formation by the plane mirror for the concave mirror and the convex mirror. Which of these mirror full images are larger? You will have to explore with the help of this activity. Now uses of convex mirror, where it is used. So convex mirror are commonly used as a rear vehicle or mirror in the vehicles. These mirrors are fitted on the sides of the vehicle and enabling the driver to see the traffic behind. Okay, for the vehicle purpose, convex mirrors has been used. And to facilitate the safe driving, convex mirror are preferred because they are always given erect, though the demonized image, and also they are a wider field of view, and they are arranged outwards, and thus the convex mirror enables the driver to view the much larger than would be possible by the plane mirror. So these are the uses of the convex mirror. Now the sign convention. Okay, sign convention for the reflection by the spherical mirrors. So while dealing with the reflection of the light by the spherical mirror, we shall follow a set of convention for called as a new Cartesian sign. Okay, convention. In this convention, pole P of the mirror taken as the origin and the principal axis of the mirror is taken as the x-axis of the coordinate, and the convention are as follows. So firstly, the object is always placed to the left of the mirror. This implies that the light is from the object fall on the mirror the left hand side. Second is all the distance parallel to the principal axis are measured from the pole of the mirror. Third is all the distance measured to the right of the origin along the x-axis are taken positive, while those measured to the left of the origin along with the negative x-axis are taken as a negative. Okay. Also, the distance measured perpendicular to the above principal axis along the y-axis will be taken as positive. Distance measured perpendicular and to below the principal axis on the will be taken as a negative. So, this is all about the sign convention for the reflection by the spherical mirrors. Also, the new Cartesian sign convention described about the illustrated here in this 9.9 diagram. For the reference, we'll see it. And these signs convention are applied to obtain the mirror formula and solve related the numerical formulas. Now, the very important topic, which is mirror formula. So, firstly, in the spherical mirror only, the distance of the object in its pole called the object distance, which we say as a u. Okay, distance object is u. Object distance is u. Now, the distance of the image from the pole of the mirror is known as image distance, which will be represented as v. Object distance is u and the image distance is v. You already know the principle of focus, which is f only, and there is a relationship between the three quantities f, v, u, and f, b, and u. Which is given by the mirror formula, and which is expressed as like 1 upon v, 1 upon u is equals to 1 upon f. And this is the mirror formula representing the relationship between f, u, and then v. So this formula is valid in all situations for the spherical mirror for all position on the object. You must have a new Cartesian sign convention by substituting the numericals when it is finding below, above, plus, negative. So sign convention will help for the plus and minus sign, but for the rest it will be ideal for the all spherical mirror values. Okay, so this formula will be ideal. Also, values for the u, b, f, and r in the mirror formula by solving the problem. So this is all about the mirror formula. Now let's move ahead with the magnification. What is magnification? So firstly, magnification produced by the spherical mirrors. It gives the relative extent which images of an object is magnified with the respect to the object size. It is expressed as the ratio of the height of image to the height of the object, and it usually represents with the letter m. So this is what magnification called. And also, if the height is h of the object and h dash with the image height of the image, then the magnification will be m is equals to the as we have studied the ratio between height of the image, which is h dash, and height of the object, which is h only. So m is equals to h dash upon h. Okay, and mathematically we can express like this. So the magnification m is related to the object distance, which is u, and image distance v. So it can be expressed as m is equals to h dash upon h. So it will be represented as v, then it will be minus v upon u. You may note that the height of the object is taken to be the positive as the object usually placed above to the principal. So the height of the image should be taken as a positive for the virtual images, and however it will be taken for the real image, taken as a negative for the real images. So the negative sign is the value that magnification indicates the angle is image is real. For the real negative, for the virtual it will be like a positive. So the positive sign is the value of magnification indicates the image is virtual. So this is about the magnification and the sign convention as well. Now we have some this numerical formulas on the basis of the mirror formula is. Let's go ahead with this. First is a convex mirror used for the rear view. Okay, on an automobile, we have started that convex mirror used for the vehicle so now, and has a radius of a 3 meter. And if a bus is located at the 5 from the mirror, and find the position of the natural and find the position of the mirror position, nature, and the size of the image. These three things we'll have to find. Firstly, just write it down the radius. What is a radius given to us? Object which is u is equals to 5 meter. Okay, and also the image distance, which is v, high distance h dash we don't have. Now firstly the focal length will have to time, we know just equals to r by 2. So we'll write the value and we get 1.50 meter. Okay, as the principal focus convex mirror is behind the mirror. Now mirror formula we know 1 upon v plus 1 upon u is equals to 1 upon f. So it will be equals to like 1 upon v. We'll just keep the v one side and we'll put rest of the values whatever we have. And here we get the value of V is equals to plus sign 1.15 meter. So the image will be 1.15 meter at the back of the mirror. And magnification, you have to find h dash upon h, which is equals to minus of BU upon U. So V value minus 1.5 upon minus 5. So plus of 0.23. This is the magnification value, or the image is virtual erect and the smaller size of the factor 0.23. So this is the numerical based question. One more question is there. Let's go ahead with this. An object 4.0 is in the size of the place 25 centimeter is in the front of a concave mirror of the length focal 15 meter. At what distance from the mirror should screen be placed in order to obtain the sharp image? Find the nature and the size of the image. So firstly, the object size is given to us, object distance is given to us, focal length is given to us. So also the image distance we don't have, height of image size is not we have. So firstly, again we'll have the equation, give the V one side, substitute the values whatever we have. So here you will get the value of V, which will be equals to minus of 37.5 centimeter. Okay. So the screen should be placed at 35.5 centimeter in front of the mirror. The image is real. Now magnification again h dash upon h, which is equals to minus upon B upon U. So it will be equals to h dash equals to minus of 6.0 centimeter. At that time our image will be inverted and enlarged. So this was the nature and the value we have found. Now the refraction of light. So that's it about the reflection. Now we will study the refraction of light. What actually the refraction of light means. So the light seems to be the travel along the straight line path in the transparent medium. So what happens when the light enters from the transparent medium to another direction? That's fine. We have to start it simply that it is traveling from here to here. But what happens when it will go down? It will just cross the medium. Then does it still remain the straight line or path change? So we shall recall some of the other day-to-day experience. So we'll have to find out what actually will happen when the light is passing through. So you must have observed the bottom of the tank pond, the containing what appears to be the raised. Okay. Similarly, when the thick glass slab is placed over some printed matter, the letters appear to be raised viewed over the glass slab. And why does it happen? So, have you seen the pencil partially immersed in the water and the glass tumbler? It appears to be the displaced and the interplace of the water, and you might have observed that the lemon of the water and water glass tumble appears to be the figure. So, these are some common examples, okay, from the day-to-day life of refraction of light. Also, let us consider the case of the apparent displacement pencil and a partly immersed water, and the light reaching you from the portion of the pencil inside the water seems to come up from the different direction and compared to the part of a water. Now this makes the pencil appear to be displaced at the interface. For similar reason, the letter appears to be raised and when the seen glass slab placed over it. Now does the pencil appear to be the displaced? This is some activity kind of based thing. And if instead of the water we use a liquid like kerosene or a turpentine, then will this letter looks arise or the same height? It will replace the glass slab with the transparent plastic slab. So you will have to find the extent of this effect and also the different pair media. These observations indicate the light rays does not travel in the same direction in all media. It's not like saying that it will travel in the same media only. It appears that when the traveling obliquely one medium to another, the direction of the propagation as the second medium, and the phenomenon is known as reflection of light. Suppose we have one glass slab. Okay, earlier we started that it is just simply coming and getting like here in this way that was a simple reflection of light. But here when the light is passing through, it will just changing the medium, okay, here to denser, and this particular thing is known as reflection of light. Now, the reflection of light through the rectangular glass slab, whatever I have told you, just let's read it deeply about it. So, to understand the phenomena of a reflection of light passes through the glass slab, we have an activity actually. Just fix the white sheet paper on the drawing board using the drawing pins and place it in the rectangular glass slab for the seat in the middle. Draw the outline of the slab pencil. See, like this. From this diagram, I will explain how. Also in this activity, you will note that the light rays has changed the direction from O to O dash. See, this is the glass slab. Incident is incident ray is incidenting here, okay, in the glass slab. Here the position is O, and the image so formed will be like this here, and O to O dash. Okay. Note that the point O and O dash lie on the same surface separating the two transparent media. They are on the same surface only, but the mediums are two transparent mediums are here. So you'll have to draw other perpendicular, which is N and N dash to AB at the O, and another will be M and M dash to the CD. So the light ray of the O has been entered for the rarer medium to the denser medium, that is form of the air glass. Also note that the light ray has a bend towards the normal, went toward the normal to the glass, and that is from the denser medium to the rarer medium. So the light is here has been sent from the away normal, and compared to the angle of the incidence, the angle of the refracting will be AB and CD. So here in figure, ray is EO. If you can see, the ray EO is obliquely incident. This E and O incident on the surface AB, and all the called the incident ray of O and O dash. O and O dash, and is reflected to the O dash and edge. Here it is getting reflected. Here entering, and here it's getting reflecting. So the extent of banding of the ray light opposite parallel face is AB. And the CD, which is the glass interface, first is air glass interface, second is glass air interface of the rectangular slab, and this is why the image parallel to the incident ray. However, the light ray is shifted in the sideways slightly, and what happens when the light ray is incident normally to the two medium? So now you can familiar with the refraction of light, right? Here it is incident and here it is making the refraction angle. So this is the surface is same event. So this is how the refraction of light works. Diffraction is due to the change of speed of light, and as it enters from the transparent medium to another, experiment show the refraction of light according to the certain laws. So we have some laws as well. So the incident ray, a refracted ray, and the normal interface to transparent media at the point of incidence all lie in the same plane, and the ratio of the ratio of a sine angle incidence to the sine angle refraction is the constant, and is for the light of a given color, and for the given pair of media. And this law is known as the Snell's law. Actually, the second law will known as the Snell's law. The ratio between sine I upon sine r, which is equals to the constant. And also this true angle is like between 0, then incident angle, the 90 degree. And if I is the angle of incidence, r is the angle of refraction, then the constant value is called as a refractive index, and in the second medium with respect to the first. So in the next we'll study about the refractive index also. Now still you have any doubts in from this from other things which we have covered. So if or you want a teacher to guide you personally, you can join our one-to-one live tutoring at Guasna Academy. We will help you to learn every concept with the ease. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the rest part of this chapter. Thank you very much.